And as you can see, I have a new handle, a new YouTube handle. It is, what is it actually? I don't remember. Just a yogi doing burpees in his basement. Although, should I flip that around? Just a yogi in his basement doing burpees. Or just a yogi doing burpees in his basement. I think that way sounds best. I've gone back and forth with it. And no particular reason why I decided to change, other than a brief and funny conversation with, first off, um, inspired by the former Barefoot Burpees, now Hybrid Gym. And then there was a little exchange on YouTube between myself and Hybrid Gym and David Witten, in which he pointed out that we don't have, David and I, the most creative handles in the burpee community, which is true, as David's channel is David Witten and mine was Eric McCarty. David Witten Fitness, actually, sounds pretty good. David Witten Mountie Fitness, because he's a Mountie, sounds even better, I think. Just putting that suggestion out there in case, David wants to climb aboard the creativity train, because we're going full steam ahead. It was just as I was posting this morning's burpee video that I found myself typing the title, not even thinking I was going to keep it and put it up there. But actually, I like it. It's apt, because I come here in the afternoon, I talk about yoga, I talk about meditation, I talk about breath work, other stuff, diet, and it is it's almost all yoga related in some way. And I do burpees in my basement. So I honestly consider myself a yogi more than anything, because it's the path I purposely and spontaneously, if that makes sense. If you can be spontaneously and on purpose at the same time, that's the path I choose to follow. And I say spontaneously because who knows why these things come up. Why do I have an interest in yoga when none of my siblings do? When I don't even know, outside of a conversation with me, if either one of my parents ever said the word yoga before. Maybe my mom, when I was 11, buying my first book on yoga, she might have said, "Why do you want a book on yoga?" Other than that, there was not a topic of conversation. I guess maybe a few times they would say, "Why do you keep doing that weird yoga stuff? What's that weird yoga stuff all about? You can't make a living doing yoga?" Which is true and not true. People make a wonderful living doing yoga. I can't make a living doing yoga. I'm not a yoga fitness instructor. I'm not an asana instructor. I practice the full realm of yoga, from the yamas, niyamas, asanas, breath work, one-pointed attention, and the entire path of meditation. I guess officially, I would be a yoga influencer, a yogic influencer. Not sure how I feel about that term. I like to think that I just talk about yoga. I could, if I really, really wanted to, become a studio instructor. I don't want to. Not even an inkling of desire to go down that path. I've been a fitness instructor before. I had my own personal training business that did quite well for a number of years. At a certain point, it's unsatisfying to help someone put 10 pounds in the bench press, or to get better looking abs. All of that's important. But for me, the instructing of it, the teaching of it, the helping people do it became superficial. Not that those goals are superficial itself, because anything that you commit to has worth and should not even be questioned. Should not be questioned outside. It's not me to question what anyone puts value on, ever, period. And it's not for you to question what I put value on, ever, because it's a personal thing. However, my helping people with that became something that I just no longer felt was on point, my purpose. And the Sanskrit word for that is dharma, my path. And your path should have some type of holy resonance to it. Just make you feel like you are doing something that you are called to do. I'm not saying everyone has a higher purpose or that someone in particular has a higher purpose, but you should feel on point. You should feel on purpose. You should feel that you are following your heart's content. It's funny because I mentioned that to Mocha on our walk and run this morning. I'm actually very, very close to living the life I've always dreamed of, which is a very humble life. I have thought at times in the past of joining a ashram or monastery, committing myself to a more, again, humble. Humble seems to be the word that keeps coming back to me. Existence. Where I wasn't striving to make a living, but I was living a life of creativity, spending my day writing, meditating, being in nature. And fortunately, because of what my dad left me, not a lot, but I have a house to live in. I have high taxes. I live in Maryland. I don't mind paying taxes. I don't mind paying higher taxes. It seems to come from all directions, though. That doesn't make me happy. I'm also not always happy 100% where those taxes go. But I live in an area of great schools. I don't have school-age children. I have a stepdaughter. She's well out of school. She's actually going back, but she's 30 years old. But I'm glad the children in this area have great schools, and I mean great. Always mentioned in the top of the country. I got public libraries. I have great roads. I got garbage men picking up my garbage. I got people picking up my recycling. The town that I work in, I wouldn't call it a city, although it's been called a new city, is a beautiful place, and it runs like clockwork 98% of the time. Miles of bike paths that go through. It's got to be one of the greenest cities anywhere. Miles of trees. Absolutely love it. So I pay a little higher taxes. That's fine. Again, they seem to come from all directions, though. City, county, state, fed, property, homeowners association. So that concerns me a bit because it's draining my finances a bit. So I'm so close to living that life that I love. I have an emotional connection with someone. Get that little bit of tax situation under control, and I'm doing okay. Anyway, I feel like I'm on point. I write every day, post to my blog. I have a core group of people who enjoy my writing. The audience grows a little bit every couple of months, a little bit bigger. I come here, I share my workouts, whatever fitness tips I might have gleaned in um, not too far away from 50 years of training. I started when I was pretty young. I mentioned this to Robotics. If you follow Robotics, Training Over 50, wonderful channel, old school, and I mean old school, steel cables, the bull worker. I had a bull worker in the 70s. I might have been 11 or 12 years old. First time I saw a hint of muscle in my body using a bull worker. I might have been that same age I started doing calisthenics with a program director from the YMCA. Would take us trail running behind the Y, and then we would do push-ups and jumping jacks and toe touches and other stuff. I don't recall ever doing a burpee until high school football. Very brief career in high school football. So I've been doing this forever. Over 40 years, by far. Again, getting close to, not too far away from 50 years, 45, I think, at least. And so I share some of that, share my workouts. I come here and I talk about this stuff, whatever this stuff is. Just a conversation. When I think of this, I really, man, I hope each and every one of you that ever come here and listen to me, each and every one of you I've ever interacted with in this community, to have something similar, and by that I mean that you're walking that path. It's funny, let's mention David Whitten again. To me, when I hear him talk, I can't help but think, is anyone more so meant to be a Canadian Mountie than David Whitten? It just, an essence of goodness, makes you want to trust him, knowing that he's got your back, knowing that he is looking after good people. He feels like a Mountie when you listen to him. Now, of course, I don't know what most other people do, which is fine. But I hope you're happy. I wish you happiness. And that you're feeling fulfilled. Now, earlier I mentioned about no one should question your purpose. And I stand by that with one exception. You should always question your purpose. Am I doing what I feel I should be doing? Here's what Carlos Castaneda, here's what learned from Don Juan and Jack Kornfield, the Buddhist meditation teacher, picked it up and wrote a book on that same theme. Ask yourself, does this path have heart? If it does, follow it. If it doesn't, choose the path that has heart. It seems to be what I'm doing. Finally, weave my way there. It's not a professional career. Again, it's almost, I have this close to a monk-like existence, but secular, out in the world, interacting, making videos. But it has heart for me. Makes me happy. So, if you can do that, if you can ask yourself if the answer is yes, I'm not saying if the answer is no, quit your job and find something else. We've got commitments. It's not that easy. It's always easy to come here and say, hey, I'm a meditation teacher. I teach breath work. I talk about yoga. Listen to my advice. My advice means absolutely nothing to anyone but me. So don't listen to me. But listen to your heart. And then maybe steer yourself in that direction a little bit of it at a time. Take a class. Whatever it is. Just start experimenting with that a little bit. Maybe it's hiking. Start hiking on the weekends. Being in nature. Maybe it's writing. Get up half an hour early every morning and keep a blog. Start a book. Write an article. Maybe it's public speaking. Start a YouTube channel and start talking about weird shit. I can guarantee you, if you start a YouTube channel and you start talking about weird shit, at the very least, 316 people will subscribe to your channel. And here's another promise. Contact me and I will subscribe to your channel, no matter what type of weird shit you talk about. That's the path with heart. That's Dharma. And again, it doesn't have to be to the extreme that I take it. And my extreme isn't really all that extreme. It's just weird. And again, it's humble. But find it. It's important because I don't know how old you are, but I do know you're not getting any younger. Don't let happiness escape you. True happiness, that sense of fulfillment. And you gotta ask yourself some hard questions. I know very many people who told me, well, my dharma, my path is to be a parent. I would say no. I'm speaking outside my, I don't know. Who am I to say no? Except for this. Being a parent is an important duty, a heavy responsibility, nothing to be taken lightly, but it is not a lifetime job. You'll always be a parent, but parenting at some time will come to an end. And then what? Your dharma, your purpose lies outside of that. Maybe it's being a school teacher then. Maybe it's having daycare center. But your dharma is never towards someone in particular. That's a blessing that comes into your life. Never take that for granted. Never take it lightly. It's a beautiful blessing. But it's not your dharma. Because again, when that part of your life is done, we're sort of left with that feeling of bereft. Something has left me. Something important has left me. I've lost my title. I've lost my importance. I've lost my prominence. I've lost my position. But it never was your position. It never was who you were. It's what you did. And you did it so well and so beautifully that now your children are independent, strong, starting their own family. Be a wonderful grandparent now. And find your purpose. Find your dharma. Find the way to express your soul. Find the path with heart and walk it. Tomorrow I might try, I seldom ever say I'm going to write about this because I never know what I'm going to write about until I show up at my keyboards each morning and I invoke inspiration. Look about me at the books, look at the pictures, everything's arranged to bring me some type of inspiration. Never fails to happen. I write every day. But this morning I was thinking, making my yoga beautiful. Because not all of my asana practice is beautiful. Some of it's a struggle. As mentioned before, I struggled with my headstand for a long time, just so I could balance precariously for a few seconds. I received a lot of benefits leading up to that, but not the full benefits of the headstand. So I got a inversion bench. I absolutely love it. I'm committed to using it. I'm holding a headstand minutes at a time, 3 times a day, and twice in one practice. Once in the morning, my first practice, twice in my afternoon practice. And I think about not doing beautiful yoga, because that would be sort of subjective, someone else to look at and say, that's beautiful. And I've seen beautiful yoga before. I don't do it. But that's not what I'm trying to do. I can make my yoga beautiful, meaning that it's my expression of yoga. It's beautiful because it's my expression, no one else's. What can you make beautiful? What can you make beautiful in your life right now? Now, if you're a parent of young children, you can make parenting beautiful. Doesn't necessarily mean it's your dharma, again, the same as doing yoga asanas isn't my dharma. It's my practice for lots of reasons. But I'm committed to making it beautiful, as I do with my writing. I've often mentioned and I've written about. It only takes one line. My writing is usually minimalist, 200 to 500 words total every day. And if I have one line that strikes me as beautiful, I've done it. I've hit it point on, dead center, exactly what I wanted. That's enough for me. So, let's end it with that today. This is just a yogi doing burpees in his basement, signing off for the afternoon, talking about a path with heart. Highly recommend reading Carlos Castaneda. I highly recommend reading Jack Kornfield. I highly recommend reading my blog, by the way. Come visit my blog. If I remember, I will put a link in the description. If you click on the ads, I make money. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I might be getting my account yanked, or at least this particular video yanked. If you shop from the Amazon affiliate link, if you look at the book page that I have, with the little links at the bottom, I make money. It's not a bad thing. We should all make money. I tell people on my Buy Me Coffee link that I occasionally post here, I occasionally post to my blog, that if you buy me coffee, I will actually 100% quite literally buy coffee with that. Organic instant coffee. I do buy organic instant coffee. It sounds a little, high class there, only organic. I'm not opposed to buying non-organic instant coffee, except it sucks. It doesn't taste good. And I'm too lazy to brew coffee. So, instant coffee, maybe $1 or $2 more, but it tastes good. And I only drink 1 cup a day. If I drink 1 cup and I drink it because I like the taste, there you go. So, having said all that, thanks. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow for some burpees. Take care.